Right guys, so recently I've had a lot of messages around my style, how I would sort of coach people who are struggling with certain issues and certain patterns. So what I've decided to do is record a series of live lessons and get these out regularly on my social media channels to see if I can help some people and help you guys that are asking me some questions. So this particular gentleman, the first video, has travelled down from Manchester, struggles with that classic slice pattern. So we recorded the whole session and we're going to put it out there and hopefully it can help you. Let's get into it. In terms of how to grip a golf club, I don't believe there's a certain way. What we need to understand is that we're all built differently and our hands hang off our shoulders very different person to person. So with you at the moment, the hand is very, very far over because you've been told in the previous lesson to wrap this hand around. But naturally, this hand, this shoulder's wanting to sit you back.
It's out of position.
It's out of position, so it's too much what we call internally rotated over the top. And then through your motion, this is always going to want to sit back to where it, which is now going to open that leg up. Okay? So we're going to feel like the way we're going to teach you to grip the golf club is we're going to hang our hands off our shoulder joint and we're going to correct this position. So we're going to feel like, okay, this is now only rotated inwards 10 or 20 degrees. And we're going to try and grip it a little bit more from underneath the grip. And that's what it's going to feel like for you. So if we've got 3 lifelines in our hands, you can see 3 little sections of our fingers. For you at the moment, because you're so far over, you position it in the middle of the grip or towards the end of the tips of your fingers, and then you wrap that hand right over the top. So we're going to feel like the entry point is more underneath, and it's through the bottom callus pads or the bottom section of our fingers, which will now won't enable us to get it too far over. Okay, so it's going to feel like your palm's more facing up. Now, if we oppose what you did, so you go this way, if we went too much underneath the grip, naturally it's going to want to shut this way, isn't it? So now we're going to, if anything, struggle with the hooks. Now, because of your hand being so far over, as you're taking the club away, this hand is wanting to roll back to its normal position, which is doing what to the club face?
Open it out.
Open it out. And then your body's thinking, God, I've got to hit this ball somewhere near the fairway. So it's thinking, well, I need to react to this and start to throw everything over the top in a reaction to try and swing it somewhat towards the left. So there's a lot of things going on there, but we have to start with the club face, because if we get that in a good position, it then gives all of the other attributes of our body a reason to move a little bit better. Okay, so we'll do some feel stuff, and we'll go from there. So club face is square. Okay, so left hand, let it hang. Okay, so you can see your hands hang inwards, right? Yeah. So we want this hand, instead of gripping it and trying to get in a certain position, the easiest way I find is in this orientation, how it is, you move it over the grip in that angle, and you lower it on. And then you hold like that. You know, these fingers go like that. So for you, that's going to probably feel, hold that up for me, that's probably going to feel like it's a little bit more on the top than normal. Yeah. It feels a bit more wrapped round, right?
That one is,
So to make this measurable for you, when you look down at that hand, how many knuckles can you see? Without turning your head. Can you see that one?
Yeah, a little bit of that.
So 2 knuckles, right? Now reference as well, this thumb, we want that to feel parallel to the right hand side of the shaft. Yeah. So not on the top, as some people think, parallel to the right hand side of the shaft for you. Okay? Right. Yeah, to the right hand side. So when you look down, this is the right side. Yes, perfect. Right. So that's perfect. Right. Then the other hand's going to come on. And instead of going over, which you already do, we're going to come in from underneath. I'm going to grip it a lot more down. So now it's lower in the hand, isn't it? Now when you put it on, it's not going to get over nowhere near as much. So this position, that's perfect. So now to me, can you see how they sit together? Yeah. Now that's going to feel really odd. Okay? Yeah, it's going to feel really, really odd. What this is going to do, it's going to give us a good chance of correcting the orientation in the face. Okay, swing up to the top. Okay, and swing through. Feels like you're just going to let go of it, right?
It does actually feel like you're going to let go of the club. Yeah,
because that's your connection point with the club, right? So changing grip is the hardest thing to change because it's your point of contact. But you won't let go of it, it's just a feeling. Keep the club nice and straight. Now you have this habit of turning the face in. Right. The reason you turn the face in is because you get it so open and you're worried about hitting to the right. So we want to get the face square, want to get the hands, relax it for me, relax your arm. There you go, hold the club, like that, perfect. Parallel to the right, see it? There's your 2 knuckles that you like to see. And we come in from underneath, through the base of the hand, and we feel like this is sitting more on the side of the grip.
Yeah, side of the grip.
Rather than on top of the grip. Perfect.
Yeah, so it was right around before, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we swing out to the top, and then we swing through. Now that club face is already in a better position at the top. Although it feels
completely different.
Yeah, so what we do is let's jump into a ball. I'm going to pop it on a little T-peg because we don't really care about contact here. So jump into the ball, I'm going to help you with your hand position. Alright, now nice and slowly, just hit one. I don't care where it goes, go ahead. So how was that?
Yeah.
Less slicey.
The contact felt better.
Contact was stronger for sure because we're not glancing across the ball so much.
Yes,
Then. So when that face is so open, right? And we've seen this on the camera, haven't we? How it's looking over here. Cutting across it so much that it never feels solid. Yeah. That one sounded nice and strong, right? And the ball speed on that one was at the top number there is 84 miles an hour. Can you see that? So if I show you on this screen, see the top number, 84.5. Yeah, the last one, 73.7. So it's 11 miles an hour faster off the face straight away, and we haven't even looked at your golf swing. And this is why fundamentals are so important, because essentially you're telling you, if you're holding the club in a certain way and causing certain twists and torques on this handle to happen, you're basically subconsciously telling your body to move a certain way.
Taking the swing out the swing.
And for you, it's like trying to kick a football but kicking straight across it. Yeah? So exactly, and that's why it was slicing. So now, is this going to feel easy? No, not at all. But that's fine. It's absolutely fine. And just because it feels odd doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just different. But you've been playing golf a little while now. You're playing off 20. You've been slicing it for a while. So this is the change that I can guarantee you will definitely reduce the amount of slice. And then as this feels more comfortable, we can start progressively working on the movements of the swing. Yeah. So let's try again. So into the ball. That's beautiful. Relax the knees. Love that. Nice and smooth. It's alright, ground first, no problem, don't worry. Again, it's going to feel odd. Now that hitting the ground first is something else that we haven't spoken about yet. Yeah, that was a much better movement. Let's try again. Okay, nice swing. Brilliant. Look at that ball fly. Look at that ball drifting to the left. Have you ever seen a little draw?
No.
And look at the distance, 123. Now if you look at the ball speed, top left, 88 from 73. So again,
it feels clean on this contact as well.
And absolutely fantastic, a tiny little draw, right? So that's telling us now that the face is in a better spot, we're definitely striking it more solid, and then we're less likely to have to react and start swinging all over the place. So sometimes, as a coach, we don't need to even get into the golf swing too much early on, because like I told you, you're giving your body a reason to move a certain way. So just doing these things, for me, success would look like you finding this little routine, this pre-shot routine that you can go through on every shot at the moment, and it will feel quite anal, quite granular at the moment. But you could go through this routine to the point where if you come back to me in a month's time and that's solid, we can then really get into the dynamics of your movement and make it better, right? But this is looking a hell of a lot better already. And you've already gained 15 miles an hour ball speed, which is also nice. Well, if you look at the total distance, actually interesting, so the ball, how it equates to distance is 2 shots ago, you were hitting it 111 yards, 101 yards, that one went 123 yards. 2 shots ago it carried 88 yards, that one carried 114 yards. So we're now 20, 30 yards carry, yes. Everyone's different, everyone's wrists are different, everyone's release patterns are different, so it's all about the player and what works for them. Now, you were standing in such a position where the left hand was what we call weak, the right hand was super weak, and we had to change your grip because you were twisting the forearms, opening the face, and then sliding across everything. Yeah, which is why the contact was a bit inconsistent, especially like you said off the floor, you were hitting the ground a lot. It's okay with the woods because the ball's teed up. Get away with it a bit more. Okay, let's do it again. There you go, that's perfect. Right shoulder. Love that, nice and smooth then. Very good strike. And again, a little bit to the right, but there's no slice, no drastic slice. It's a little bit off to the right, but look at the distance. Partly, one of the reasons, you've struggled with hitting the ground, we talked about the fact that it was steep. But as a reaction to you being steep, what you did is you just keep your weight on the back foot and almost spin across you because you're trying to get it even further than that because that face was open. So now the face is in a little bit of a better spot. As we go through, we want to allow our pressure and everything to move through the shot onto our toe. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do some practice swings, and all we're going to do is focus on the end position to start with. So we're going to move back, we're going to brush the ground, and we're going to finish with our eyes, chest, belt buckle facing the screen, on our tiptoe, with the sole of our foot facing where the camera is behind you. Okay? And you're going to be able to hold that balance for 3 seconds. It's going to feel a bit wobbly to start with because you're so used to keeping the weight on this back foot. All that's going to do for us, you said to me when you came in, I always hit the ground before the ball. Well, if I get to the top of my swing and my pressure stays on this back foot, I'm more likely to have a low point before the ball. So I'm going to be struggling with this, or I might jump up and top it along, right? Well, as I move my pressure forwards, where can you see that I'm hitting the ground now?
More central.
More central, or if anything, in front of the ball. Now, if we understand the correct iron strike, the club should be coming down, it strikes the ball leaves, and then it hits the ground. And that's where you see divots with the pros on the telly. At the moment, when you take a divot, it's a bad thing because it's happening early. So when you do get a good strike, I can guarantee you don't take a divot, you just flick it off the top. And it sounds really clean. Back, and then through, and hold. 2, 3, fantastic. One more time, we'll swing back, we'll swing through, and we'll hold. 2, 3, brilliant, mate. Right, now really gently, we're not looking to blast this, we're going to go through the easy one. This is more about me assessing your movement. I don't care where the ball goes, okay? So, we're going to come into the ball, we're going to try and go through the whole routine, okay? I'll talk you through it. So face down first, left hand in a natural position on the top of the grip with the thumb parallel to the right. Good. Right hand feels like it comes more underneath and to the side of the grip. Ball goes in the middle of the feet. We square the shoulders. And all we think about is a nice, good balance to let the ball get in the way. Let's go. Show me balance and hold. 2, 3. Look at that ball. Little draw straight down the middle. Fantastic, mate. Brilliant. Yeah. Now, you see that level of intensity? That might be level 4 out of 10 right now. Yeah. So that's where you live until you're able to do 5. And then you get to a level where you go 6. It doesn't work anymore. Then you go back to 5. Then you master 5, and then you gently work your way up. And when you go to the course, if you were going to say, Chris, I'm playing with my friends on the weekend, you're not going to take all of this stuff. You might just take a little bit of the stuff you've learned with the grip, because we know that helps, and then you just play your game. But when you go to the range, and you do your block practice, where you're standing there hitting a lot of shots, you can be a bit more tedious and all this stuff. Right, the ball gets in the way, show me a good balance finish, nice and smooth. Stop there. Assess your finish position. What should your foot be doing at this moment? Yeah, and what that will do when you do that little tiny twist at the end, that'll help you just shift that foot. Well, we'll take that shot again, right? 80 mile an hour ball speed, not much slice on it, very good effort. How's it feeling?
So what we're finishing on that, don't we?
Yeah, so again, what we're trying to do for you is stop you hitting at the object on the floor. And remember, we're just moving this little bit of metal around our head in a circular shape and trying to get everything lined up at the right time. So we're trying to get a little bit more focus on what you can control at the moment, which is changing the movement, and the outcome will just come with the amount of reps you do when we start trusting it. If you trust in the process of your coach and you believe what they're saying because it's factual and they're giving you evidence, you're more likely to sustain that for a long period of time. Where you said previously someone told you to do something, they didn't tell you why, you thought it doesn't feel right, I'm not doing it anymore.
And going back to the other.
And then you've stayed the same for a little period of time. So we want to progress. You said you want to be of single figures eventually. So this is the first step on our journey to do that. Yeah. And hopefully you know that everything I'm saying, there's reasons for it. And we've seen not only how it looks improvement, how the ball speed and distance is improvement, and also we've changed the ball flight from a drastic slice, and the fact that you said I can't get it anywhere down the line, to now hitting it pretty close to the line most times. But now it's just the authenticity piece. And the only day that comes is reps, 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 unfortunately. Yeah? Okay, let's try again. Look at this guy.
Yeah,
but look at the shape of it.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Not like that.
Look at the blue line, right? Let me just talk about this when it comes up. Massively like that, and what we'll see when this line does eventually come up, it's having a bit of a slow day today. He knows it's bank holiday. The blue line, the starting point is the thick point, and the thin point is where it finishes. So it's drifting just gently, 25 revolutions of speed to the left, with an 82 ball speed. So we're up 10 miles an hour, a little draw, and I'll tell you something, that goal swing looked fantastic. Really, really good.
And the speed's gone up and I think straight than it was.
And you probably feel like you're hitting it softer, and the ball's going further.
Yeah.
So the efficiency's higher, and the repeatability element, which is what we want to try and do. Have you got any questions on anything so far? Bloody hell, I'll tell you what. There's a line for you.
Wow,
look at the distance as well. 128 yards, 88 ball speed. I'm not gonna lie, I can't do much more for you than that in your first lesson. How does it feel?
It feels good. It doesn't feel like it. No, it feels like I'm in the bar.
You look like a golfer now. Couple more, well done, bud. Well done.
It feels sweeter when I'm in it, to be honest.
Nothing better than that. Nothing better than that.
I'm not hitting the ground as much as I was before.
So why is that? What do you think? What have we done?
Better swing technique.
And what are we doing with the body through the ball?
Oh, pressure. Putting pressure through.
So where will we more likely to hit the ground if we move our pressure through?
Around here.
Good. So you can see, right? If you hit the ground on the course, the likelihood is you ain't done that bit.
Yeah.
But that bit comes second or third to the setup and the club face because everything reacts to what we do with the face. So before the face was super open, then we react to the club face, we stay back, we swing left. Okay? Now, we've put the club face in a better position, we've set our body more straight, we've got the grip in a more neutral position, so that gives us a better chance to move the body through the ball in the straight line, which is why our dispersion is tightening up. And the ball speed's coming, because now you're not just using your arms as well as the mass of your body and the pressure moving forward to create velocity that way, which is good. Not as good contact as the last one, but again, look, we're straight down, ain't we?
Yeah, just.
So we
didn't feel as good as the last one, but still.
So we caught the ground a little bit before the ball.
Yeah.
So what could we have done a little more of to make sure we didn't do that?
Go through.
Make the change, right? So lots of positives to take. Just because we hit the ground like is what it is, we're making a change. We have to be patient with it. But if we're doing that, from that ball had 49 revolutions of spin on it. So basically per minute it's curving 49 times. When you came in, it was curving 4,000 times a minute. Like that. Like a twister. Yeah? A little bit off balance, but another one, pretty good contact, a little bit off to the right.
Lost my footing.
A little bit, and that's normal because you're not used to transferring through. But we'll take that and have 80 mile an hour ball speed near the line. This is fantastic work. Fantastic work. Keep going. Okay, drifting a little bit to the right, but another good contact with good balance.
What's caused it to go off to the right?
You tell me. What do you think it could be?
Grip weren't proper.
Okay, so what does the grip affect?
Some face.
Okay, so let's start there. So before we get to the grip, that's the root cause. The reason it went to the right is because the face was open to the palm. Right?
Yeah.
Make sense? Then we go, okay, why was the face open? We know that the thing. Well, no, we didn't get the grip right. Because the grip is the piece for us today, specifically today, it's been really influential in helping that club. So let's make sure our grip's really good on this next one. Okay, shoulders are good. Now show me a good balance, nice and smooth. Wow! Wow, wow, wow. I can't wait to see the ball speed on this one. Look at the distance on this one. Longest one of the day, 132, 93 mile an hour ball speed. That's 20 miles an hour increase.
Feels quite good when going through there.
Quite good. Come on, man.
It felt good.
Brilliant. Fantastic. All right, mate.
And that's just making sure you keep consistency with body movement, isn't it?
So you now have a pre-shot routine. Yeah. Your job is to, one, understand why we're doing what we're doing, and two, follow it like a military.
Yeah.
And make it a new habit of yours rather than we're trying to break you away from what you've done. So, what a lesson that was. We've seen in this lesson that, for me, the importance of understanding the whys in which this person's pattern is causing them problems for a sustained period of time is super important, because I think that if this person can understand exactly why their pattern works the way it does and the particular issues are causing what was happening, if we can make the changes with the whys and with their education behind it, it's more sustainable. So within 1, 2, 3 years time, this play is going to be totally different. I'm certainly not in the business of making little quick fixes and this person going away without a slice, and then with 2 or 3 weeks down the line, it returns again. So that player's booked in again. He's traveling back up to Manchester. I'm hopeful that, we've made some really, really good progress today. He seemed to enjoy it and has left buzzing, which for me is really, really satisfying. So let's see where that player ends up. All right, tune in again and there'll be a video of another lesson with a little bit of a more established player who's struggling with a hook coming shortly.